All right, I'm gonna go up at 7. I think my plan now is to probably stick to 7 o'clock stream time. Last week I waited because I wanted Bishop to get home so we could hang out and like talk about comments and stuff. But when he gets home now, he wants to play The Witcher 3. So like I can tell he just kind of wants to hang out and chill and just like he plays The Witcher 3 and I just watch him. And I complain when he, doesn't dodge or pick up the loot that I think he should, so. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me move this a little closer. All right. The Red Rocketeer. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I assume you can hear my voice okay now. Yeah, usually I give a little bit of a timer to count down because at some point like a few people jump in and then I'm like restarting what we were originally talking about. Today's kind of just I'm being chill. I didn't have like a specific agenda. But I suppose I do have a question. Do any of you play Warhammer 40k? Here's the conundrum I'm in, okay? I want my 14-year-old son to play Warhammer 40k with me, okay? And I'm building. I just finished up this tank from the Ordo box. So my son wants to play 40k, but he only wants to paint the miniatures. He doesn't want to build the miniatures. He just wants to paint them. And so he's like begging me, like he's like, Dad, you build them, because he knows I actually like building them. Hey, how's it going? A good evening to you as well. Talking about making Tyranid models. So his army is going to be all demons from hell, and my army is going to be the righteous space marines, sending these demons back to hell. Anyways, okay, if you had a son who was 14 years old, would you insist? No, you build and you paint your own models, right? Like, okay, I actually shot a video about this earlier today. I'll put it up as well. But like, the question I had was like, is it a rite of passage to build your own army? And that's the kind of thing that I was trying to think about, because I feel like building your own Tyranid army is a rite of passage into Warhammer. Is that fair? Right? Is that the threshold to the hobby? Okay, say he can paint them after he plays a game with them. A little bit backwards, but it might work. Let's see. Say he can paint them after he plays a game with them. So obviously the thing he wants to do is paint them. Like he's actually really good at painting. This is like a Hulk, a red Hulk that he painted. And if I can actually get that in focus here. He does a really good job with like the eyes. He spends time, like he went and got all the teeth in Hulk's mouth, right? He does a really good job. But he spent like 15 hours on this thing. He just wants to paint them, right? I mean, the fact that he wants to make Tyranids means he's probably never going to have an army because he's going to be spending like 2 to 3 hours on each one of these little guys. That also might be why he's going with big chunky things. Oh yeah, I'm out of focus again. He wants this kind of crap. He just wants to have a bunch of monster demons, spit out stuff. How you doing tonight, Matt? There we go. All right. Let's see. Say you will buy him some Tyranids, but he has to promise to play them with you. So he's already okay with playing the game. Like he'll play Kill Team, he'll play Marvel Crisis Protocol. He's into playing it. He just doesn't want to build his own models. My thought was that maybe he should actually have to build his own models. Right? Like it's an earn your way in. Let's see, mixed bag. Yes, building for sure. Let me come this way a little more. Building is building for sure is a big part of it in terms of the hobby as a whole. So maybe if you build some with him, okay, that's not a bad idea. Let him paint them. It'll help him get into the building a little more. That's a good idea. I like that. But also just painting is also him getting involved in the creation aspect. Mixed feelings. Yeah, you know, okay, I know what you mean. And since I know that he spends such a long time putting like work and detail into the miniatures he's painting, yeah, there's a part of that that I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, good enough. Either way, if I do end up putting all his Tyranids together, it means that I get to enjoy the process of putting big chunky monsters together, because like I really do enjoy the building part. Like this was totally fun. I like, you know, I mean, trying to make sure all the little guns still move. You can kind of see them, and then the turret at the top. You know, like I just want to make sure I didn't get glue in the wrong spots. You know, it's a little bit like the box, but painting is generally where I get a little bit crazy, and I like basing. This is I like doing like all the base and the liquid and stuff. That's the thing. I did not think I would have fun doing that. All right, let me I think I'm probably gonna keep this camera up for the moment, and I'm going to start building one of these guys. Pretty sure he wants the big cannon version. These things are huge. Let's see. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it take a long time with the base work, and I like to experiment and like put like real rocks and stuff. I also like the AK terrains. They have this at my hobby store, and this is what I do most of them with, where I just kind of pull this around, let it dry, and then I make like some sections where I'm going to put water into it. I don't know. I did not expect that I would enjoy that part of the hobby so much. Okay, all right. You're going to be ashamed. You're going to be ashamed. I am also ashamed now that I found out that there is a Space Marine trapped inside of my rainbow dreadnought. I actually feel bad. I have thought about here. I'm gonna zoom and see. Okay, when I was let me first explain why I painted him like this. I was trying to paint him like dawn, you know, like sunrise, and what ended up turning out, it's you know, it's kind of a rainbow mech, and there's a Space Marine trapped inside of it. Anyways, I was trying to make it like dawn, because the original like reason. Oh, let me get this back in frame. Sorry. All right. Original reason why I even bought this Leviathan box was because I was trying to get some like miniatures in a game for my son Riker to learn like how to play a game with us. So like the original reason I got into like Warhammer specifically was with that Leviathan box. It's down there. And I was gonna try and make like, you know, little dinosaurs and little Space Marines for Riker. He's 9. He's gonna be turning 9, and he's, you know, not. He's very mentally disabled, and we have never been able to play a game with him. And I thought like if we put cool toys on the table, he'd be more into it. I still have hope for this. That's actually, you know. Yes, I know the heresy. I know. I know. Yes. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave him be, because it's like the first Warhammer miniature. I think this is actually the first one I finished painting. I made a couple Space Marines that are basically just red, yellow, green, blue, purple. Yeah, also rainbow. I was trying to make them stand out and be like simple colors that Riker could go like, I want to be the blue guy or something. Anyway, anyways, I've trapped some Marines in, you know, some suspect colors. So I'm keeping it for now, and I'm gonna get working on one of these things. So love and hate the color scheme. No, I totally understand, but with the explanation, I definitely understand it more. It turns out that I think Riker actually likes more mech looking things. Like I'm not gonna go colorful with these now. I think what he wants is for it to actually look like a little tank. So we take him by the game store that we go to on occasion, and they'll have like a big table set up. And this is one of the ways I kind of went, oh, he might like this, because he was just glued to the table, like watching the people like just move the tanks around, and he's just like, He didn't know how to explain it to me, but I could tell it was interested. Like, he didn't know what this thing was. And he's like looking at it while like army guys are moving here, and then like dice are rolling, and then a tank turns, and he's just fixated on it. He knew that people were paying attention to something that he didn't understand. And I thought, ooh, that might be a game we could play with him. Obviously, I'm gonna like just simplify it, you know, because he's real slow. But I just want to get him like looking at tanks and mechs and stuff, and try and make them fight each other so that Riker and his brother could play together. So I think it's great because Bishop will have this Tyranid army, and I will build my Space Marine and tanks and mechs, and eventually have Riker help me play the game. And I'll like start by him rolling the dice, right? We gotta have this tank take out this giant whatever, like, you know, and we'll play kind of a game of it where he gets to help me play the game. And I'm hoping that we could get regular with that, and then he would actually want to play. So that'd be cool. Let's see. Okay, no, actually, could you tell me, Matt, what is inside that dreadnought? It is a this poor guy. He's trapped in here. All right, I gotta go with one of the ones that I know my son Bishop. Okay, he told me different ways he wanted these built. You know what? I don't want to mess it up. Well, actually, I'm just probably gonna be cutting them out for the first part. This one's only got one way to build it. Okay, this is the big boy. Let's see, I think I'm gonna shift it to my other camera and just get a. Here, I'm gonna keep that down. Sorry, that's gonna stay there. I think I'm gonna shift it to the wide camera. There we go. All right. How's my desktop up there? I don't really need that at the moment. Let's see. I have another wide one. I'll just turn off the desktop. Not the in-game screen. There we go. And there we go. Okay. All right. This guy's huge. I like his base. He's got a really cool looking base with all the colors coming down there. This one my son bought with his money. Like, he was just into this model. Like, this is a model he really likes. One-page rules, maybe. I haven't tried it myself. I've heard it's much simpler than 10th edition. So that's actually what I started with. I started with one-page rules, and it's pretty similar to Kill Team. Like, I've played a few games of Kill Team now, and I'd say the one-page rules is pretty close. It just has different keywords, and there's a lot of keywords. And when Bishop and I were playing it, we were like, oh, we thought this game was supposed to be really simple. This is going to be easy to just get into. And it wasn't, because there was like 20 keywords on my guy's side, and then like 10 keywords on his guy's side, but some of his keywords were the same as mine. And like, it was simple, but I don't know that it was more simple than Kill Team already is pretty simple. So, but I get what you mean, right? There's going to be some game rule system out there. What I'm probably going to do is just go like, you roll a 6, you get a hit, right? And just give him a handful of dice to roll. I'll probably just do like free league games rules. We pick up a bunch of D6s, throw them, look for 6s. I don't know. The basest, most simple rules, just to get him rolling dice and moving tanks with me. Because that would be awesome if we could get Riker to play a game with Bishop and they had fun with it. Riker like just loves doing that. He'll keep asking Bishop to do it over and over and over again, and I'm hoping I could do that, you know, for little war games. He's not tapped. Solemn Duty of the Emperor. Oh, he's not trapped. Oh yeah, no, I gotcha. Yeah. It's an honor to be the chosen. It's a sarcophagus of a fallen Astartes who even in death gets to continue to serve the Emperor of mankind until his rest in on life. And he's stuck doing it in a in a mech suit like this. Oh, the humanity. Well, okay, I have at least convinced myself so far that I'm not going to undo it. I'm fairly certain I'm not going to undo it. I'm going to move my chat window over to the other side so that I don't have to keep looking over here. Gotta remember this if I'm going to be building models. I'll just leave it here so I don't. Yeah, let me resize it down. There we go. All right, now I can see everything. I think today was the first day that I kind of understood why someone would buy one of the big commanders. Because like this whole time when I've been looking at the models in the store, I'm generally trying to buy models based on the best deal I can get, which is why I keep buying like the starter boxes over and over. Like I go, oh, in this box for like $100 I get, you know, 30 models or whatever. That's a real deal. And I've done that a lot, but like today was the first day I kind of understood why you'd buy one of those like $40 guys where it's just one little Space Marine for $40. Because every time I go to the store, I'm like, why would I ever do that? That sounds terrible. And today I was listening to some of the lore about the Primarchs and like the people under the Primarchs. Anyways, I was getting like a bit schooled on the whole Space Marine thing because I still don't fully understand the Space Marines. But once I was getting like the chapters and all that, and it was like the leaders and the heads and stuff, I went, oh, it's like a named, you know, I just didn't get it. I'm like, oh, that guy at the store, I know he's named, but like, he's like, what's from World of Warcraft? I know like World of Warcraft lore. He's like, you know, Tyranid, the Night Elf. Now I can't remember any World of Warcraft lore. Whatever, that's a Darth Vader guy. And I kind of went, oh, I get it. You're kind of paying for a more expensive version of the model so that you can go play official. Right, I get it. I mean, I still think it's a bit abusive to sell the $40 model for $40. I think I'm not so big a fan of that. All right, this thing is going to be huge. Massive legs. A giant alien tail. And it doesn't look like there's any variations in how I can build this. No, there is. Dang it. Wait, are there two different versions of this guy? Okay. All right. So the problem, you know, I think I'm probably just gonna be building little baby Tyranids because the thing is, okay, he's already told me, and I know he's doing it wrong, right? He's doing it wrong. He's already told me that he wants like one of these guys over the other one, right? But he doesn't know what either of them do in the game. So right now I know he's picking kind of the same way I started picking by just picking what looked cool. And going, well, I'm going to build it this way, right? Anyways, I'm going to have to explain to him that he needs to pay attention to how the guy plays on the backside and like what their weapons and abilities are. So, all right, I'm just going to be building little baby Tyranids right now. And I think some of those Lasher guys. That way I don't mess up one of his nice models. One of these guys he wants me to magnetize. Rule of cool all over. You think so? Like, I mean, okay, honestly, do you really think rule of cool when it comes to the Warhammer stuff? Like you don't try and do like the metagame type thing and pick, like, look here, for example, when I was making when I was building my gladiator tank, I built the gladiator tank with this cannon because I wanted to be able to backline and have a 72-inch range. Like I did it based on mechanics, right? Like I want this guy to be able to sit on the back line and just 72-inch line, boom, he can hit the back line. And so that's why I built it this way. I guess, okay, is that rule of cool? I don't know, like because I kind of wanted a long-range artillery cannon, and that's what this guy was, essentially. So I think I understand what you mean by rule of cool. Okay, so cool either how you play or cool what you think looks cool. I'm gonna assume you mean both of those. By the way, Matt, I enjoyed that Conan system that you were taking me through. Right before I got on the stream, Matt took me through a Conan character creation builder. I've never built a character in Conan before. I've never played Conan before, and I don't know anything about Conan. Like when people talk about Conan, I'm like, oh, cool. Like I don't know anything about the lore or the story of Conan. I've never read the comics. I think I saw the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie once. No. I've seen it a few times, but we never really watched it. Okay, so there's this thing on older DVDs that have like the director's commentary, and Conan was one of those movies that had a director's commentary that you could just put a drinking game to, and it was so funny because you're there watching like Conan, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the director of the movie, and neither one of them have like looked at the movie in 20 years. There's a part where Arnold Schwarzenegger says to the director, "Are those people real?" And the director's like, yeah, those people are real. He's like, "Oh wow, there's so many of them." And it's like, it's a weird thing he says, because I'm like, dude, you were there. You don't remember like that? There's 1,000 people on the set at the time when he's looking at it, because it was like it was a lot of people. But I'm like, dude, that was a set you walked to. Like, I mean, just 30 years ago. You don't, I don't know. It was so weird. He didn't know some of the parts of the movie. And I'm like, you were there. You were in it. It's a hilarious commentary, but we never really watched the movie. We kind of just listened to the commentary while the movie was on. So I don't know any of the story, right? Like I saw scenes where people were doing things, but I couldn't really hear the movie. It was just Arnold going like, "Oh, that kid has lipstick on," and he's like, no, he's just a regular kid. He's saying like the most unhinged things. It's so funny. Anyways, otherwise, I don't know anything about Conan, and Matt took me through the Conan character builder, which I thought was rad, right? He explained to me a bunch of the lore. He was telling me like what it meant, like what my character meant, if he was from here or if he was from there. And then I got to choose a couple. Oh no, it was mostly rolls. It was like random rolls, but anyways, it was cool. I had a good time going through it. Let's see. I understand for sure building things for an in-game reason specifically, but I will go for rule of cool. Sorry, cool look. Okay. Vibe that works better in the game. Okay, I can understand that. Having an army, I love 100%, and made every choice. And made every choice for me over being 100% effective. Murder team. Okay, gotcha. So you go with one. It sounds like you go with a team that's like there's a lore reason. Okay, tell me more. What is the team that you go with, and what's the lore reason? Because these are the things I'm trying to like understand. All right, now that Dom, it sounds like you got some answers for me, because I'm trying to figure out like some of this Warhammer stuff. And what I generally do when I'm trying to learn like a game is I just do this, like, right? I ask questions on YouTube, and then I try and interact with people, and that's kind of how I learned stuff about tabletop RPGs last year. And I'm still trying to learn about tabletop RPGs, but now I'm also trying to learn about Warhammer, and I don't know anything. People were saying like, "Hey, read the lore," right? Like, watch the lore. So I started watching the lore videos, but that was probably like 3 or 4 months after someone first told me you should probably check out the lore. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm like, they're weird aliens, and I did not get it until I went and looked at the lore. It was so weird. Like I couldn't get like why is this the most popular war game? Right? But the moment I went and looked at the lore for it, I was like, oh, this is cool. It's cool that orcs are like mushroom creatures, right? It's cool that the Adeptus Mechanicus are allowed to worship their own god, right? Like they have a god of the computers or whatever, and the emperor of whatever, the emperor of man or whatever, like he doesn't care. Like I thought, well, that's a neat thing, right? Because of who the Adeptus Mechanicus are. So I really enjoyed going through the lore. Now on my bike rides going up the hill, I just put on like, I don't know, there's some channel that has like a really good, let me see if I can hear. I'm gonna bring my computer back over because I found a really cool channel that does a lot of lore videos that were really interesting. Jacob, open. Yeah, that should do fine. Okay. Let me see. Switch over. Let's see. I've also been trying to make my own homebrew Marines. Trying to mix Cadians and Marines. What are Cadians? I don't know the group Cadians yet. They mainly focus on alien killing, and they are a successor to the Imperial Fists. They have yellow. Okay, so they have yellow armor with purple shoulder pads. Okay, maybe I've seen pictures of that before. I scour through Instagram on occasion. There's a bunch of painters that I follow, and they do models, and I may have seen that color before painted on someone. Their chapter name is the Emperor's Whispers. Okay, I've never heard of them. They sound cool. Cadians are like regular humans in the setting. Okay, all right. Okay, so it's some mix of Marines with like people like the Death Corps, or maybe the sister ones. Who are the sister ones? The Sisters of Battle, something like that. The nuns. I'm guessing those kind of people. Would those count as Cadians? Homebrew means you make them yourself. Wow. The way lore is within, you can make your own. Really? I didn't know that. Is that okay? So, no, okay. Is that something like you just play it at home though? I'm guessing like it's something you play with your family. Like, can you take that to game stores? Can you take homebrew armies and stuff to game stores, or can you take homebrew armies to tournaments? I'm guessing not the tournaments. But like, okay, where's the extent of where you can play? So, okay, let's say you build a bunch of homebrew armies, because my son was talking about that. He wanted to make Tyranids with the Gene Stealer cult. Hold on, I'm hearing the music going out intermittently. All right, there we go. He wanted to make Tyranids with Gene Stealer cult, but he wasn't sure, you know, and the guy at the store said, yeah, you can't really play Tyranids with anything. But I didn't know there was a homebrew's rule thing. I mean, obviously there could be, but not even sure it's worth exploring, because with war games, my son is like, we're playing by the rules or not at all. He's so compulsive with rules. All right, hang on. I was going to bring up that lore channel. Let's see. YouTube should be like right here we go. Luton. So I'm not going to play the video, but this channel was really cool, where they made like really cool, like it was hour and a half, like lore videos, and the guy reads a real tight script. Like, you probably could put yourself to sleep with this dude. Like, it's just right. Anyways, that's why I do it on my bike ride. Otherwise, I probably would fall asleep. All right, I'm gonna try and actually get to making some of these now. Wide. And yes, Deathcore would be close. Okay, cool. You can use in actual games if you do it right. You usually find rules for an army that works for the way you want your army to play. Okay, for example, I could use an Imperial Fist Codex as my rules. Okay. This Codex is my rules. Okay. All right, so it sounds like you're mostly subbing in the units, like you're picking an army to have your guys play by. This is what it sounds like. Let me read it again. Usually find the rules for an army that works. Okay, so you're taking another army's rules and you're applying it to different models. So that basically means your models aren't legal for that rule set or something. For example, you could use an Imperial Fist Codex as my rules. Okay, I think I understand that. If I'm getting that correct, I just want to make sure I'm actually understanding what you're talking about. It sounds like you're taking these models and making them play with these rules, and that's the part you're normally not allowed to do. So you find rules that exist and basically role play them as for your rules. Okay, so now, all right, so when you say role play them, I see the quotes around it. So is this something where you guys are kind of narrative wargaming? Like, is that part of Warhammer? Is Warhammer kind of like you do narrative battles? Like, you pick a battle from like the history and the codexes and you set that up like a Civil War reenactment? Or is it just like, I'm going to bring my Tyranids and you're going to bring your Space Marines and we're going to hash it out? You know, because it sounds the way people are describing it, like maybe there's a narrative war game aspect. And I have not heard anything, like I've not seen anything that says that's true, or anyone, I don't think anyone's told me in my Discord. There's a bunch of people in my Discord that know a lot about Warhammer. One guy who actually like had a game store for a long time, so most of the stuff I know about Warhammer I've gotten from this guy. And I don't know, now I'm getting the sense that there is some kind of, okay, so hold on, I do periodically, okay, so it is kind of like a Civil War reenactment. That's interesting. I do personally for my battles. A lot of people don't. There are different ways to go about it. Okay, so is it more like an RPG, like a tabletop RPG? Because it sounds a little like it's almost like a tabletop RPG, where you're running the game more narratively than you are mechanically. Are there hand wave like dice rolls, or are you pretty much sticking to the rules but just breaking the rules in like your team building or something? It's interesting. I didn't know anything about this. I think I'm gonna build a couple of these claw guys. Judging by the bodies inside this thing, I think I have 2 more to make. Yeah, it looks like 2 more of these. All right, let me get bases. All right, so I think those are on the 40mm bases. I have to do this. I still have to do this like every single time because I've actually glued models to wrong bases so many times. I used to do it with Marvel Crisis Protocol too. Like before I understood the game, I didn't realize the base size mattered. When I first started making Thor, I ruined my Thor. I built such a nice base. That was like where I first started doing like the basing materials and stuff. And I built a really nice base for Thor, but I put him on the wrong base. So he's like a dead unit now because he cheats. Let's see. That's why I like Battletech. I had heard that Battletech was a little bit like this, and it's probably from you that I heard that about, Matt, because I have seen people playing Battletech at the game store, and that is one of the games where I'm like, I'm curious how that plays. Like, I'm actually a little interested in trying the Battletech narrative thing, right? Like, I don't know what it is, but I would like to see beyond that curtain. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Let's see. You can set up a story type campaign where you have a story to follow and do things more for the story. Example, you may sacrifice a character for the sake... Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so you may sacrifice a character for the sake of the next campaign. His memory will empower them. Okay, that's... Or, okay, so are there mechanical... That's interesting. Are there mechanical campaign rules for that kind of play? Is this something where you could go to like the aftermarket, like Drive-Thru-RPG, and find that someone has built an external compendium to make this kind of play possible? Or is that something like, is that a sanctioned style of play by Games Workshop to the point where they would provide you a model for running that? You know what I mean? Like if you're playing Marvel Champions, the card game, there are some rules in the book for how to play an extended game between games, and it's still not very interesting, but that actually sounds kind of cool. Like, this guy's gonna die so that his memory lives on. I think that's kind of rad. Let's see, or they use cardboard with the mini. Oh, okay. So Matt, you're saying you just use a piece of cardboard? Like you're having like a little stand-in for this mech or this mech, something like that? So you guys with more motivation opposed to just focusing on points and such. Oh, okay. So you're playing your guys not... Okay, it sounds like you're playing your guys as though they're real people on the battlefield, and they're they're willing to make big sacrifices, even though that wouldn't be tactically smart for you in a normal game. So it sounds like you're making some bad choices in the game, but like narratively you're choosing to, because you're playing them like real characters, not like board game pieces. That's interesting. I did not know that was so. When I started playing Marvel Crisis Protocol, this is the thing I explained, like the video I was making a few days ago. I was only playing like X-Men, right? Because I kind of want I kind of wanted it to be a story. So like the X-Men could have Bucky Barnes, but it's like a one-shot episode, you know, like. But I was basically doing like Cyclops, you know, and his leadership ability, and then no, Storm sucked. Storm was awful. Kitty Pryde, Wolverine, X-23, and like one other ranged character. And I was having fun with it, but my son was playing with these monster teams because he refused to take the world seriously. I'm still looking at that camera. I'm sorry. That's like my camera. I don't know why I even thought I would get to building any miniatures on a live stream. Someday I'm gonna get that good that I can build miniatures. I get too distracted talking about nerd stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like Marvel Crisis Protocol. It felt like we were just playing a board game. And I feel like a war game doesn't have to have a story, but it might be a little more interesting if it does. That's just a guess that I have, you know, like because we've been playing like tabletop RPGs for a long time, and my son has played them like war games. My son is a war gamer at his heart. He loves like mechanical stuff and memorizing all the feats. Like when we played Marvel Crisis Protocol, he had every single character card a little bit memorized, right? Like if I asked a stat on a character, he would tell me the numbers on their card. He knew what threat level they were. He knew like what 2 of their attacks were. Not every single attack they had, but he knew the baseline of the characters, and he memorized that crap. And I don't know, just it wasn't a very interesting game to play with him when. I don't know. It's kind of fine because it's more wargamey, but the problem is he plays that same way in Dungeons and Dragons, and he's like just doing it like math, right? And we're trying to be like, let's try and role play, and he's like, but you don't understand. You have this ability. You can use it twice a day, and you haven't used it yet. And he's doing that with the other players. Like all the while we were trying to play, I've had to tell him like, dude, if you do it again, I'm docking you experience. Everyone else is going to get 150 experience, and you're going to get 140. Right. And every time you do it. And that's what I've actually had to tell him, because he treats tabletop role-playing games like war games. And it's like, it's so frustrating it's frustrating to me because it just slows the whole game down. And it's a little frustrating to the other players because like they're being told how to play their turn. And sometimes they have narrative reasons for what they're doing. And he's like, but you're not being a war gamer, you know? So anyways, I got off on a tangent. Same base size, general size. Okay. A custom chapter or paint scheme can be anything. Okay. So if you make a purple falcons, they can run as loyal to the Emperor's, they can run as loyal Emperor's children, or they can be Raven Guard. I see. So okay, so that's interesting. Is this how most people play Warhammer? Is this a prevalent way to play the game? Like kind of just, you know what I mean? Like, is it a common way to play the game where you're ignoring an aspect of the army building in the game? And then that's interesting to me because I don't know. Like, okay, so I assume you couldn't play this way at a war game store, right? Like, okay, could you play this way at a war game store? Like, do people show up to game stores and play like this? It's really interesting. I didn't realize that sounds like a few of you are actually agreeing this is the way you play. Same base general size. Okay. I see. So you're saying you can sub in models to be other models. I personally make my own for some of my stories. Definitely unsure if super heavy here. That's my problem. I got to make the text larger on here, and I keep forgetting to do that. I think I just right click on it and hit zoom. I had done this I had done this a few days ago, but I think no matter what, it always resets. Zoom in. Zoom in. Oh my goodness, it's so much better. Okay, I'm like trying to strain to read the silly thing. All right. You guys have more motivation. Okay, got that. First make my own. Okay, personally make my own for some on my stories. Definitely unsure. Okay. Yeah, BattleTech is not as strict as 40K with painted or not painted. I've seen people even at the game store with unpainted models, and sometimes you might have a Wolverine, but declare it as a battle master for that particular match. Okay, are the BattleTech miniatures expensive? I've only seen like the starter box, and they have like one starter box. I think it's called Arena or something, and it's about $50, I think. I think I've seen it for $50. I could be wrong, but painted really only, and yeah, and I think that one came with like 4 models and the rules and like some hex-based stuff. If I'm correct, and it was actually $50, I had the idea that maybe the mechs weren't that expensive, but you know what? I haven't really paid that much attention to it at the game store. Painted really only comes into play at big, Ivo and stuff. No local stuff I've seen requires it. Okay, so yeah, my game store doesn't require that you have painted stuff either. I've seen people play with totally unpainted armies against people who had totally painted armies, and no one seemed to be upset. So over 4 games, we cleared different areas of the planet. Ended up retaking it after many losses. Oh, planet, yeah, gotcha. Not expensive, but they are just not as strict. I see. Okay. Do you think that's a community choice? Is that something that how does that come about that the BattleTech community is as a whole less concerned whether or not you bring a mech to the table? That's interesting. Or like whether or not you bring the right mech to the table. All right, go back to this one. Bring you over. Nope. Wide. All right. I got to get at least one of these guys made. Where are those bases at? There we go. I think one is one of the lasher looking things. All right, that. What is, there we go. What is this guy called? Nope, wrong guy. That's what I'm building. With his big long arms. There we go, that's him. Big long arms. Some kind of some kind of demonic murder machine. I don't know how this dude eats. No, I can understand how he eats. These aren't like, these guys aren't smart, right? Are these like the bugs from I haven't actually watched any of the lore on the Tyranids. I know nothing about the Tyranids. Are these like the bugs from Starship Troopers? You know what I mean? Like, are they just kind of like there's a brain bug that tells them what to do, but otherwise they're all kind of just dumb? Or are these like intelligent creatures? I know that they come from the warp, or I think that's where they come from. Okay, it's a leaper. Von Ryan leaped. Okay, so BattleTech is not as popular as 40K, so people are just happy to play. That's interesting. Even though BattleTech is over 40 years old, is it getting like a revamp? I keep seeing different like boxes that they're putting out for BattleTech. It doesn't seem to be a dead game. Do you know what I mean? Like there's still, some company is still putting out new boxes. It's like I know, because I know there's war games like Mordhau. I think it's Mordhau or Mordheim. Whatever, the that old 40k one, no, not 40k, that old Warhammer one, where it's like the cursed city, but the weird power stones have fallen into it, and you're supposed to like, so that one, that's a dead game, right? So BattleTech's not too old. It's like, what you're saying is because it's not popular. Okay. You can play the big tournament. If your army, let's see, play the big tournament. If your army is your unique creation, you're just gonna have your rules. You're running submitted, no problem. Okay. Was the norm not to get stuck into certain rules? The norm not to get stuck into certain rules. Okay. All right. So it stays a little loose with the definitions of like additional rules. That's what I'm understanding. There's a community choice and tradition from where BattleTech was just cardboard shits and standees. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so Tyranid is our hive mind. All right. All right, I got an arm out. Which one am I building right now? That was here. This is... All right, where's your numbers? There you go. This one is number 1. All right, let's find number 1. There was a Tyranid army for sale at the game store a few weeks ago, and Bishop is bummed because I didn't buy it at the time because I was like, I already knew I had a bunch of these like little the little baby dinosaurs, whatever the baby Tyranids are called. I knew I had a bunch of those already, so I didn't buy it because I had a lot of those, but it did have a few larger models, and it was cheap. It was like 40 models, about 30 to 40 models for about $150, and they were all built already. I was like, no, I can't. All right, where is number 1? 26. That's 16. H7. I'm not seeing my guy. I think it's lying to me now. All right, I'm just gonna have to get its body and then I'll figure it out. Yeah, that's H7, H6, H9. For body number 10. Hey Matt, how come you never got into Warhammer? You got into like a lot of the other nerdy stuff, but I get the sense that you just know the Warhammer. Oh, that's right. You said you don't like minis, right? You don't like paint minis? Let's see, I'm sorry, my writing and lack of punctuation skills. No, you're fine. Didn't realize how bad it was until you read it. Okay, some of it is my eyes, though. I definitely need glasses. Oh, the fun of Tyranid bodies. Okay, so it's not just me building this the bane of my tyrants. Yeah, these are hard to distinguish from one another. I'm like, where is this guy? Still trying to find this guy right now. Looking for number 10. My goodness. Eek, God, there's no 10 here. I'm starting to think this thing's lying. Okay, look, I have put together Lego sets with far more pieces. Why am I having... Oh my goodness. Am I going by the wrong guy? No, this is exactly how it looks. He's got the spiky arm. That's one of his spiky arms. 26. Where's number 10 though? 20. That was definitely not 20. That was 10. All right. This is where I just start gluing things together. It's the starter Leviathan box, so they've got like the little insert holes. You're supposed to be able to build these without like needing glue, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, I'm thinking. Hopefully. I don't have time to paint minis, and 40k nerds at game stores get militant about rules and paint requirements. And then every few hours, your army becomes obsolete or is illegal for tournament play. I have heard that last one. There were some people who were pretty salty about some army changes, like, I don't know, earlier on into this cycle. I don't remember when it was, but yeah, I got you. I struggle with them as well. They do not look right until you get them together. Okay, yeah, and I think that might be the problem I'm having. They can have numbers errors from time to time. What I'm thinking is I might have, man, there's like a couple different sheets of these things. All right. Big long body. Okay, 28 through 30. All right, maybe these guys I'm trying to build there. No. Maybe that's it. No, that's the guy with the wings. I already built him. All right. It's getting worked out. Let's see. Legs. Okay, it's only 2 bodies I need to figure out. And so I think I'm just going to put them sort of together like little Lego pieces and see if I can get them to stick together, and then I'll start putting glue on. How do Tyranids play? Like, are Tyranids, like, I'm thinking about it as because I'm going to be playing as the Space Marines, and I have a little bit of an idea of what that play loop is like, or what that cycle of dice rolls and mechanics might look like. I have no idea what Tyranids play like. You have a 1-year-old that's smacking on your keyboard? That's awesome. Oh, man. That's so cool. That is totally... Man, just cherish that. Cherish that. Enjoy that. Definitely going to glue those Reaper arms. Will fall off. Yeah. I always glue, even with the push together ones, I always glue them. I don't know. I don't want to play with models that are falling apart, and I definitely don't want to just spray paint them if I haven't glued them first. That doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to do. I'm not quite sure who's doing the push pin and not gluing them in. It must be working, though, because Games Workshop is continuing to do it in like a bunch of their sets. Like, they just had a Kill Team set that was made with push pin ones. Like, I just don't know why they do it. Is this... I'm guessing with these starter boxes, this is the way they usually get someone like me, a normie, to get invested in the thing. That's my only guess. They play like Zerg. Okay, Zerg Rush. Oh, that sounds terrifying. I'm excited to get games in with him eventually. I know it's going to take a long time for me to get his whole army painted and built, plus my whole... Oh, sorry. His whole army built. He's going to paint it. And my army built and painted. My thought is maybe we start playing a couple games while they're unpainted. You know, just to kind of get used to the models and stuff. But I also like playing Kill Team. Like, I think Kill Team's probably my favorite of the skirmish games. And it's really fun to have like an interesting opening, like turn 1, which I never really had in Marvel Crisis Protocol. Like, the whole first round, you're basically just trying to get to other people, and no one can shoot across the map. So turn 1 doesn't matter that much, or at least it didn't in the games I played. Let's see, I prefer freedom of old kits. So much easier to get different poses on the glue. Yeah, okay, no, I can understand that. What size NIDs? The elite and trash, the trash list play dramatically differently. Really? Okay, so, well, here, I'll show you the ones he's picked up so far. This one he got with his own money. And like, I don't know exactly what's so appealing about it to him, but he loves the heck out of this thing. Like, he thinks this thing is so awesome. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, the thing that I get excited about is those little Ordo mechs, right? The Grey Knights. Those things are so rad looking. I get excited about, you know, this little hover tank and the motorcycles. Man, I love. And I don't get it. He wants hulky things. Like, I don't understand. I thought I raised him right. I raised him with what was that mech movie? Pacific Rim, and any mech stuff we could find. The Iron Giant. It's not a mech, but it's close, right? I tried to raise him right, and still he's a filthy Nid lover. He picked up this one and this one this last week. So he just got these two, and so these are on the list now. He has specific ways he wants them built, and he wants me to try and magnetize one of them. I think it's actually this guy, because there's two different guns he could have. And I told him, yeah, it looks pretty doable with the way the arms are positioned. Like, I told him I can't magnetize this to this. I'm not at that skill level yet, but I can probably figure out the two different arms. The thing I was worried about was that even with the magnetization, they're gonna fall forward because they kind of look heavy in that picture. So those are the. Oh no, he has one more. He has this. Nope, it's upside down. This Death Leaper. Again, he gets to do like chores and stuff at his mom's house, and she pays him like he was a California employee, you know. I'm like, I told him, like, no, you are not coming to my house and expecting $20 an hour. That's ridiculous. I did jobs at your age for minimum wage, and you live here, so no. I actually did tell him I would give him an allowance if he took the dogs out consistently, because he promised me when we got those dogs that he was going to, I can't say the word, they hear it and they lose their mind. I'm not going to say it. Now it's apparently Riker's job to walk the dogs. Now I said it. I'm so stupid. They must not be here. It must be. Oh, I'm guessing they might be out for a ride. Lately, Lex has been taking Bishop out in the car. I'm sorry, he's been taking Riker out in the car because he just gets real calm, because Barkley, the boy dog, sits on Riker's lap in the car and just chills there. And he's just, oh, Riker loves it. He loves it so much, just having the dog hang out on his lap in the car. So they do that a lot now. And it makes him calm. Now she takes him to school with it, and he had a much better day at school today. See, Big Bug Stomp, Big Bug Stomp. Yeah, he loves the Big Bug thing. I don't get it. I don't understand. They're not that cool. Like, I don't. Okay, he's going to destroy me. I know it, because he plays so wargamery. He's gonna figure out some tactic or ability to put together into the game. He must have. Okay, these guys must be S tier. I can't imagine he would have picked this team, because I think he looked up a few different teams lists and decided on Tyranids, right? I'm guessing he put some amount of effort into figuring out what team he wanted. So these guys must be hard, right? I don't know. You guys let me know. I got Wolves, Custodes, and Necrons. That's cool. Are you now okay? What point armies do you have for each of those? And is Bishop home? No. Okay. Yeah, I think they just got back from a car ride. Yeah. So what point armies do people usually start out with? I've seen that a lot of those combat patrols, it looks like they come with about 500 points, and it seems like this Leviathan box is probably about 500 points as well. I could be wrong, but whoop. About to cut that in half. Phew. Let's see. You start in trouble. That is a beastly lineup. Wow, really? Okay. Apparently I'm in trouble because it's a beastly lineup. Once he learns to bring a gaunt on screen. Hey, what's up, bub? Let me give you hugs. Hey. Hey, I've been.
Barkley is here to
Come here, buddy.
Barkley's here to save the
Here,
day.
come here. I'm gonna lift you up. Oh! There you go.
Wait, Barkley's
Hey.
here. We're here to save the day.
Hey, hold on. I want to show you what I made today. Can I show you what I made today?
Wait.
I finished it this morning. Hold on. Look at.
I want to
look
see
at-
Barkley. Oh.
Look at. What is it? Nah, I want you to pay attention. Hey, come here. I know. Hey. Oh, you can't. You have headphones on. Hey, hang on. What is this? Okay, well, yeah, we put it back on just a second. What is it?
Hey.
Yeah, look at it.
Wait. We got Barkley to be just
I know you're happy about Barkley, but I want to show you the cool tower. Right, get out of here. Get out of here, you monster. How dare you?
Also, Barkley,
He says it's not painted. It's no good. What's on his collar? Oh, okay. Here. Hey, Barkley. Come here. So he's part of the U.S. Army? Come here, boy. Hi. Who's a good boy? Here, I gotta pick him up. This is Barkley. He is okay. He's wearing his hammer because he works for the U.S. Army. There you go. Thank you, Barkley. Thank you for working for the U.S. Army. You're doing the Lord's work, man. All right. How's it going, Joshua? Has anyone played the ttrpg Mothership? I've heard about Mothership. I have not played Mothership, though. I saw a few video reviews about the game. Looks interesting. I mean, like, the being stuck in space thing with a system of mechanics designed to, like, just kill your character in terrible ways. Seems interesting. All right, need a hobby knife now. You might want to look into the Knights list, Kaiju versus Mechs. You know, I mean, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing is the Kaiju versus Mechs. Been collecting for a good 7 years now. I'm at 2,000. I'm at two different things. Hang on. Let me go back. I've been ordering from Mega Baron, and it's been real helpful magnet-wise. Okay, cool. All right, thank you. I'll let me write that down. What's it called? Magnet Baron? Let's see. Magnet Baron. Yeah, so far I've just been getting magnets on Amazon. Baron. Yeah, I get like most of the magnets I've been using have just been like base magnets because I like to keep the bases on metal plates. So I just get like, you can't really see it, but those little, like they're sort of heavy, you know, they weigh the model down a little bit, but I have not been trying to do magnets in shoulders and arms. I do not feel that good about just drilling it out, right? I'm kind of nervous about that. Let's see. Love some nids. I'm currently painting my Space Marines Brazen Skulls chapter because I can interchange how I play them. Right now I'm leaning into Dark Angels. Okay, Brazen Skulls chapter. Yeah, I don't remember. I just watched a bunch of the Space Marines lore today. I don't remember stuff about the Brazen Skulls, but I hadn't gotten that far in the video. So I think the whole first section of it was mostly just about the dark ones. Hang on, the Black Legion. Yeah, the Emperor's Black Legion, and I got through that one. And yeah, so I need to continue on with that video because I'm starting with Space Marines, and I'm kind of trying to figure out which chapter. I'm leaning towards the gray wolves, the space wolves. I like the premise of them. So that's where I was leaning into it first. But then once I heard the whole Black Templar people, I was like, well, they're kind of cool too. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I got to hear about the rest of them, you know, before I pick. And so. Working on my first Riptide after this. Hold on. Is one of these guys named Riptide? Wait a second. Well, what is a Riptide? Is that a mech? That sounds like a mech. Let's see. Currently at 2,000 points now. Yeah, I have no idea what points I'm at. Okay, so what here? All right, maybe you guys can help me out. Here's what I'm trying to do. I picked up the sword. Okay, I picked up this one because I love the models so much. So this one is like mine. And okay, the guy at the game store told me that I would be able to take these guys and splash them in with my Space Marines. So here, I'll show you what I've been making. Oops. All right, so this is my Marvel Crisis Protocol box with all my Space Marines in it. Here, let me put that there. I'm gonna tip this camera down a bit. All right, that's a little better. Okay, so this is the starter kill team. They finally got that back in stock in my game store, so I picked that up a couple weeks ago. And this one, my goal for this specific kill team, I think it's probably one of the best starter kill teams I've seen, because these guys are so incredibly basic. Like, they have almost nothing on their cards. And I'm trying to teach Landon and his dad how to play kill team, because I think they would have a really fun time playing a war game together. Landon is one of my son's friends who comes over for our tabletop RPG nights, and he likes war games. Okay, like, he's fine with them. I think he likes Magic and tabletop RPGs best, but I think his dad would really love a war game, because he's like a big XCOM guy. Like, he was stuck on XCOM forever, and I've played about one like sort of starter, and then like one short game I've played with Steven is his name. So anyways, that's why I have those. And then I have my motorcycles, right? These guys I love. They're awesome. I really enjoyed making the bases for them. I have them, and then here, this is all the Marines from the Leviathan box. I think there's probably about 2 more or 3 more that I need to finish building from that. And then the rest of these guys are all Imperial Legionnaire. Like, pretty much all the gray ones are just from that box I showed you a second ago. And my thought was, I really wanted to mix together the Space Marines and the Inquisitors and maybe some Adeptus Mechanicus. Am I allowed to do that, right? Like, am I allowed to, like let's say I want to go play at the game store with an army that's that kind of mix? Because the idea I've had is that Space Marines can work with the Inquisitors, right? And I maybe can even get some Adeptus Mechanicus, because I already saw some of these Inquisitors are Adeptus Mechanicus. Like, there's this scribe dude who's basically like a robot person. You can't really see him, but anyway, so I was like, okay, so maybe that's a totally legal army, but I have no idea. So I was gonna go to the game store and ask them, how do I figure out how to build this? This is what I would like to play. Is it playable? So let's see what you guys have. Riptide is a big Tau mech. Okay, I like the Tau, the look of them. I don't really like space communists. That's that's what someone told me they were. I don't know anything about the Tau. I heard they're space communists, and so I've decided that they are some sort of scum heretics that I have to purge from the earth as a Space Marine. So I might be stuck playing Space Marines forever because I don't think I can get past, I mean, these guys are basically evil Catholic Church. And I don't know, it's too funny. Evil Catholic Church is too funny. I don't know how to be upset about it. And I like evil Catholic Church. And so I'm like, I kind of want to get some nuns to go with this thing. I'm like, maybe I'll go with Blood Angels so they can have like the Catholic Church colors, like the red and white. I might go with that. Wow, now that I've said it, I got to get red spray paint. See, Riptide is big Tau mech. The new Space Wolf models are sick. No, they are. They're so cool looking. Start them, let's see, with squad scale games so they can play with partial squads, building 40k list, yeah. Like Space Vikings. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Space Catholic Church, yeah, I do like it, yeah. Good evening, really enjoyed the video the other day. I commented on, okay, hey Mike, how's it going? Thank you. I'm not sure which video you're talking about specifically, if it's like the Warhammer one. Welcome. I'm going through my Warhammer army now. I mean, like, my goal is that hopefully by the start of the summer, I can be tabling a game. Here, I don't think this is gonna reach, but no, that one's not gonna reach either. You know what? I'll get my table like tomorrow. I put together basically like a table that'll hold Warhammer downstairs in the living room. We pretty much just don't have a TV room anymore. Like it's just a it's just a massive war game table right in front of the TV. You know, we can still see Witcher, you know, but anyway, so like we have a big table down there, and I just put together some plywood with a giant folding table from Costco, and I made a war game table. And so I want to start tabling these here at our house by summertime, which means I need to get his big chunky guys. And he said he doesn't want any more of the little baby nids because he's not going to use them that much. He really just wants these huge chunky guys. And apparently I'm going to get crushed by this. Let me see what else you guys have. Space Wolves. Okay, so haven't seen Imperial Guard Battle Force box in forever. My God. Thanks for the suggestion. One of the forgotten armies, it feels. All right. Here they're pre-arced for the Legion personally. Gene seed issues like Black Rage and becoming a wolf. Like salamanders. Pull them towards me. Caring for regular people, okay? Have you ever played the LCG Warhammer 40k Conquest? No, what? Hold on, the LC. Oh, living card game. No. Okay, is it good? I've played a bunch of living card games, and so far I have not been impressed by them. I played, what was that? Okay, Marvel Champions, Lord of the Rings, and what's the other one? Haunted House one. Arkham Horror. Like they're fine. I thought I would be more impressed with them than I was, and I think it turns out I'm not. I don't know if I really like living card games. That might be my takeaway, because it was 3 almost wholly different card games, and I don't really like the limitations in the deck building. Anyways, I don't know anything about the LCG Warhammer 40k Conquest. If you don't mind telling me about it, I'd be happy to hear about it, or maybe you can join my Discord and we can chat sometime in voice chat. That might be easier, especially if you're trying to explain the whole game to me. Picked up what looks cool first. I love Wolves and Vikings. Okay. Ask your game shop about Imperial Retinues. Okay. I don't know what that book is. Ask your game shop about Imperial Retinues. Okay. I also picked what I thought was cool, kind of how it settled on the Adari. I love the elves and their aesthetic. The Adari do look very cool. I also like their armored aesthetic and the weird hats, you know. You got to pick a Xenos army to play. That way they can face off against your Marines. So my son is going to be being the Xenos, and his army is all big chunky guys. Just these kind of Berthas, and I guess he's making, I don't know, a whole army of just monsters. He wants a giant kaiju battle, so I'm gonna get a giant kaiju battle, I guess. Pretty sure the Warhammer LCG is out of print. Yeah, that makes sense. I found a copy of Netrunners. Found a copy of Netrunners at a gaming convention recently. I still haven't had a chance to play it, but I heard from a lot of people that one of the best living card games was Netrunners. So there was a guy selling a used copy of it for $30, and it was like brand new. He was one of the stranger people I've met in the whole hobby space, because he was a guy who liked learning new games, and I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't actually understand that there was a type of person who liked looking at game rule books, figuring out how to play them, and then playing a brand new game. Like most people I've met, that's the opposite of what they enjoy doing, right? Like, no, my friend Chris, I had a friend Chris who was kind of like that. Maybe he was enjoyed getting to know new games, but okay, either way, it seemed like a pretty rare person, because most of the people I've known, like they learn the game from someone, and I don't particularly actually like learning new game rules. I like playing different games, but I hate learning the rules for them. But this guy at the game convention was someone who enjoyed learning the rules, playing the game one time, and then boom, he's all done. He's some rich Hollywood dude, but he had like 300 brand new games. He had to bring them out in like trips. 300 is probably an exaggeration. I'm guessing it was like 150 or something, but they were all like just spanking new. Like stuff in the package, the tokens were crisp, and he's selling them for like half price, or even more than half price. I don't know how much that Netrunner game went for originally, but he's a weird dude. Like, I haven't met a lot of people like that. Welcome to 40K. You'll fit right in once you get used to the rules and learn some lore. Yeah, the lore has been actually the more interesting part of what I've been learning. I think I have a fairly decent grasp of the mechanics, because you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I get a sense that the game plays similar to Kill Team, except it doesn't have alternating turns. But it like some of the same rules for cover are gonna apply. I'm guessing the mechanics are more robust, but we're just playing with a larger army with more interconnected pieces, so the strategy gets more dense. But I'm guessing similar to Kill Team. And I guess if I'm way off, then you can let me know. But I think that's one of the reasons why I perceive I will enjoy it, because I really like Kill Team. I like the game where the aiming matters a lot more than Marvel Crisis Protocol, where it's kind of like, yeah, you are within range, but it doesn't matter if there's like stuff between you, or it matters less. Like, I like the version of the game that played out more like XCOM, where you're like, 95% likely you can hit that target, right? I don't know. It's fun. Star Wars or Star Trek? Let's see. Oh, so the convention that I went to was actually a board game convention. It was like board games and tabletop games and role-playing games. It was called Strategicon, if that's what you're referring to. I assume you're asking about the convention. If he doesn't bring his baby nids, you'll be able to raffle stomp his list. Really? Those are the grunts he needs to keep. Wow. Okay. So I don't know if he realizes that. Okay, that's interesting. That's good news for me, because he doesn't want any of them. I'm not going to tell him how to strategize. He's smart enough. He'll figure out where he should look to get good strategies. And all I have to do is beat him once, and he will figure out how to win. He's, yeah. All right. If you all go to do any of you go to a local game store to play games? I guess I have a follow-up question if you do. If you like Star Wars, look into Star Wars Legion. The Star Wars Legion game is incredibly popular at my game store. I do like Star Wars, but you know what? I actually think I like the grim darkness of this universe. I think that's actually something I'm interested in. The sort of dystopian vibe that this gives off, because Star Wars can have that at times. Star Wars has a bit of Empire versus rebels. It's a totalitarian system against, so it's kind of dystopian, but even in the books and stuff, it didn't get as dystopian as like Warhammer 40K. There's no Slanesh in Star Wars, and that's I'm not saying I'm here for Slanesh. That's not the point I'm trying to make, but I kind of like the nasty, demons from the underworld and the Catholic priests that are trying to send them back to hell. I think I'm actually here for that narrative idea. Like that's a cool thing, right? Here's the other thing. I was a big Star Wars fan, right? I was a big Star Wars fan my whole life, and I probably would be putting together a Legion box right now. Disney has made Star Wars so lame, I just don't care about it anymore. I don't watch the shows. I don't watch the movies. I don't care about the announcements. They killed it. It's just dead for me. And I was a big Star Wars fan like most of my life. I played all the Star Wars video games all the way back from like just old games. You know, like all back on like PC and stuff. The old, I don't think there's any Star Wars point and click. Oh, well, Rebel Assault and Dark Forces. Yeah, I couldn't think of them for a minute, but loved all the games, loved Star Wars, loved the movies. You know, I used to get the Star Wars. I'm this kind of nerd. Wow. I used to get the Star Wars George Lucas fan club like magazine. I still have them downstairs in a bin. Like you know, pressed. I don't think they're collector's items. I don't think anyone cares. I'm the people who normally would have bought nerdy stuff like that. My mom used to give me like a Star Wars watch from Macy's at Christmas, like once a year, right? She gave me like a whole collection of them. Anyways, I just don't care, you know. I still have a couple of those watches. Like they're like Boba Fett watches that my mom got for me. Don't care. And I know that Star Wars Legion is kind of a little bit more LucasArts than Disney, but it's only like a matter of time before they make it more like new Disney stuff, right? And they're probably at least gonna try. And I don't care about new Disney stuff. And since I don't care about new Disney stuff, and I kind of consider them all to be the same world, I don't care about old Disney stuff anymore. As far as the lore is concerned, Luke Skywalker someday ends up stranded on a planet, running away from his whole life, sucking on blue alien milk. Right? That's his end. I don't care about that lore, right? I kind of want the one with Slanesh. Slanesh is better than blue alien milk. I'm sorry. So I think that's like probably my motivating factor for why I'm not interested in like pursuing anything Star Wars. I got the Star Wars Shatterpoint skirmish game, but that's when I thought I was really interested in Marvel Crisis Protocol, and it was like on sale, like an extreme sale on Amazon. I think it was like $90 or something. And I was like, that's a lot of miniatures, and I really like putting miniatures together. I've put some of their miniatures together, and I do enjoy doing it, but right now I'm trying to focus on things I'm actually going to play. I'm writing my own lore for your Brazen Skulls. Okay, cool. I wish it's been a decade since I lived close enough to anyone. Oh, to keep your army. Okay, so you don't. It's a bummer. Okay. Playing Star Wars Bounty Hunter right now. I loved Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I was such a fan of that game, and it wasn't even good. Like, it was not okay. That was a frustrating game to control. I remember playing that game at the first E3 that like, you know, I don't know how late that was. It was probably 2003 or 4, something like that. And it was like E3, and they had it, like LucasArts booth had it on their thing. And I hung out like at E3 just over and over and over again because I loved Boba Fett. Boba Fett was like my favorite character. I was such a Boba Fett nerd. But that is not a good game. It's so difficult to control Boba Fett. It's not kind at all. I hope you're having a good time playing it. Nice thing about Grimdark is everything you do is simultaneously critically important and absolutely doesn't matter. That's right. Hey, TSL frontman, that's yes. You're always getting the, you know, right in there and saying it exactly right, man. TSL, I'm not kidding. Sometime you should check out Rodney's game. I suspect that you would love that game. I suspect if you could, you know, like keep your mind clear and look at that thing just at the art that it is, it's so interesting because it's a weird Grimdark. And the way you articulated that right now, you know, that's true, right? That's kind of the part of it, right? It's like everything is so important, but it doesn't matter. It's going to fail, right? Or it's not going to matter in the end. Anyways, you summarized that really well. I think you'd really like Rodney's game, and I don't just keep it in mind. If it's something you're interested in looking at, I'm sure you can just chat with him about it. But all right, I think I got all these edges off now. All right, Slanesh. Yeah, okay. I mean, Slaanesh can't be Slaanesh can't be worse than, no, that can't be true. Even as horrible as Slaanesh is, she can't be worse than that alien, right? Because that alien, okay, that alien was the culmination of all the humiliation and torment that Luke Skywalker had to endure because he was a strong male character in a world where that is not allowed. And the easiest way to make a strong female character is by showing a failed male character. And that's the archetype that Disney has been going with over and over again. If nothing else, that blue alien milk is Slaanesh. Okay, I'm convinced it is like some weird god of humiliation and torture, because that was the guy who refused to kill his dad when his dad was trying to kill him. Oh, come on, like he's gonna try and strike his nephew down? That's stupid. It's not him. You got the wrong guy. His end was Slaanesh, so no, it's not worse. I just fought against Fulgrim this week. Absolutely awesome to fight against. Okay, hold on. Did you say what? Okay, what is Fulgrim? I don't know what that is, and I kind of want to know what that is. What's going on, Elevator GM? How you doing? I have water here somewhere. Okay. Apparently I've run out of water and now I'm up to orange juice. Leagues of Votam. We're slowly building up my Space Marine force. Deathwatch kill teams. Get you a good variety of models for the price, okay? Yeah, that's what I've done. Nuya, that's what I've basically been doing. Is just picking up like starter boxes wherever I could, and my son won't let me buy models on Amazon anymore. He made that like effectively clear, and you know, and I kind of agree with him. I like my game store being there, and so sometimes that means I can't like get as many of the models as I would like, you know, because like Amazon has ridiculous deals. Like when I was picking up Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff, there were just like days where it's like, hey, it's $7 for 2 models, $15 for 2 models, right? Like it was really marked down stuff. I don't know what they were doing, and Bishop's like, yeah, but we want the game store to be there, right? We want to keep giving them business, and so I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fair. I put a lot of anti-tank into him and play Eldar, so I'm incredibly squishy. Just got caught a lot. Fulgrim is the Primarch for the Emperor's Children. Okay. I'm sure I'd like to look at Rodney's game. I bet I will learn a lot of new dynamic things in it by the sounds. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I think like dynamic things, yeah. I think yeah, you know what again, TSL Frontman, you have a way of wording things. I mentioned to you, you should write. I think I have mentioned to you. You write very well. Yes, that is exactly what you will find. Interesting dynamic things. Yeah, that party builder system is really cool. I've gotten to see it, I think, about 4 times now, and each time it does the thing it's supposed to do in a way that's like, huh, that's weird. I wonder why no one ever thought of this before. You know, it's like, it's just, yeah, it's cool stuff. All right, I am roughly getting the idea where these are supposed to go. That's the wrong arm. And the bigger arms go up top. All right, so I need to find his midsection. That looks like right here. Nope, not the leg. There we go. You should get Rowboat Girly Man. Your shop owner will know the model you are asking for. Rowboat Girly Man. Okay, Oh, what should we call? Yeah, you can call me Nate. Yeah. How's it going? It's funny, every time I get kind of nailed down on what sort of army I want to make, I learn a little bit of the section of the lore, or something about the different groups. So like my friend Rodney keeps talking about the orcs, and my son Riker is kind of like a little orc. And you know, now the part of me that like, oh, I want to get him playing this game with me. Oh, he probably like orcs. I'm like, stop it, shut up, Nate. You're already halfway into, this is how people accrue piles of shame. You're already halfway into these Marines. You're building these Marines, and so that is where I'm at. I do not get to deviate except to the Inquisitors, Inquisitors and the Mechanicus, if I'm allowed to work that. What did you guys say the thing was called? So when I go to the game store, I want to try and pick up a book or something that shows me how to list build, right? Am I supposed to just use the app? Like, are you just supposed to use the Warhammer app? Like, well, how are you supposed to do the list building for your team of people? Like, how do you figure out, like, how do I figure out how many of this guy and this guy and this guy I can bring in my army? Codex. Okay. All right. So I need to go find like a Space Marine Codex or a Inquisitors Codex. Because like I want to make a Space Marines Inquisitors mixed group, but I don't know which one of the codexes would have that information. Okay, so go to the website, has all the things. I know Riker needs more DACA. Some Doom DACA snazwagons. So Inquisitors are Imperial Agents Codex. Okay, cool, thank you. Okay, I'm going to the game store tomorrow after we drop kids off at school, and I need to pick up some more of the model basing stuff. I can flesh out my models. I need to get, I am thinking that I want to make Blood Angels, not because I actually wanted Blood Angels, but I really want to go with the aesthetic of the Catholic Church. I mean, I did actually like the Blood Angels, but I still think I like the Space Wolves more. The idea, like, at least like the idea of the Space Wolves. They were cool. I don't know, they had like that, we're not going to tell you stuff about us. Like, I didn't actually hear their whole lore because it was mostly just talking about the Black Legion. But I thought it was cool the Space Wolves are like, we have secrets and we're not going to tell you. And where other people don't get away with that, they're like, nope. You know, and it's like, I thought that was an interesting faction in the world. Look them up. Get it if you want. See, get it though if you want the lore and all the base data sheets rules. Okay, gotcha. Hey, you are the first person I've seen that even owns Imperial Agents. Really? Are they that bad? No way. Are they? Oh, hold on. Did I buy like the worst, like the worst army, or is it just people don't like the Imperials? Really? What? That's crazy. Oh, Nate, I almost got a surprise for you. Once I can finish recording a final paragraph. Interesting. Okay. I'm interested to see what that means. Do the Black Templars still exist? So that's actually the first order I heard about was the Emperor's Black Templars, and they were like living on this space rock that they put rockets on, and it was like flying around the universe on like a space rock, and then they caught up with some of the other Primarchs later on, but they were basically like for like 8,000 years they were kind of living on their own for a while, and then they met back up or something. So I was like, oh, they sound pretty cool. I have to go back through if that's what I choose, but right now the Space Wolves have kind of stood out as the one that seems coolest. And I have these totally radical Space Wolf guys. They're, hold on, where'd they go? I mean, that's the, let's get a notch shine on it. This way. These guys here are so cool. I mean, I can't, they're too rad. They're just, hold on, let me get zoom back in. They're too cool. I can't deal with how cool they are. And even the Star Strider guys, they look like characters from BioShock. I love BioShock. So it has such a cool aesthetic to it, and I just really like those units. So if I can make them work in my army, hey, that's even better. For lore, Grey Knights and Black Templars or bust. But what about the... Okay, hold on. But that means I can take the Inquisitors still too, right? Like, I still want the Inquisitor guys because they're rad. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even sure if they're bad because I've never played them. Okay, so they must be bad. See, it's worse, but I have it too. Okay, they're great. Chainsaw flamethrower, bro. No, and that's my feeling, man. I'm tired of all this stuff being turned stupid. Like, I don't think I've gone to see a movie in the theaters since like it might be 2020. Like, it actually might be 2020 that we saw a movie in the theaters last. And I was like a film student, you know, like I was like a film student. I was a big film buff. I loved all the consumer stuff. And somehow they made everything so bad all at the same time. I stopped liking Marvel. I stopped liking the Star Wars stuff. It just, I don't know how you make everything so bad so quickly. There we go. I found the right leg. This is actually working out totally fine. There's only so many right legs. I can only be wrong once. There we go. I got a couple right legs on. Yeah, you're good, man. Don't worry. We're just hanging out. Dude, if you want an army that heavy into the Catholic Church, do Adeptus Sororities. Okay, so I got my wife a Christmas present this year. Everyone's gonna get mad at me in just a second. I got her a kill team because I really wanted her to paint a kill team. And I wanted her to play, right? I want to teach her how to play because we played like one game of Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I think we played we played two with her, and she liked it fine, right? She was okay with it, but she does like to paint, and I really want to see what she would paint on the Catholic school teachers, whatever, the Catholic nuns. I figured she'd probably do a really cool job of painting them, and you know, I'd give her something to paint, and once she was done, then we could actually play a game with them. And anyways, that was I'm sure I'm gonna get some crap from Rodney or someone for buying my wife a kill team box. That's not what ladies want. You get your wife a kill team box. What kind of a spaz are you? I don't know. Rodney, you don't even have to say it. I'm already thinking it. It's pretty unhinged, Nate. Buying yourself buying a kill team for your wife. Anyway, she already started painting them, and I'm excited to see what she makes. That definitely doesn't go there. Hold on. There we go. Now, Nate, I'm not kidding. I might be the only existing Eldari players where I lived, okay? I go to tournaments and people go, huh, Eldari? What do they do now? Interesting, wow, okay, every single time. And I've gotten last place every tournament? Wow. I'm very new at the game, but I'm still learning and having fun. Okay, cool. So, okay, all right, so I've never done a tournament. I took my son to a Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament a couple times. He had a really good time. He loved the heck out of it. He's a good player, right? First game he played, he beat like 2 guys in a row. And I was like, all right. He's beating like real players now. Okay, I kind of went, oh, this is what I've been dealing with? Like, there's no way I'm showing up with my X-Men team and going to be winning against anyone. My son showed up to a like tournament, and he didn't like make first place or anything like that, but he won 2 people in a row until he got like knocked out or something. So he had a good time with it. I'd like to take him to the game store to play Kill Team, and also like an actual big Warhammer game. I think he'd have a lot of fun bringing Tyranids and just trashing people on Sunday after church. I think he'd have a really good time doing that. Sororitas plus Black Temples plus Inquisitors retinue makes a beautiful Catholic imperialist. Okay, I love it. That's exactly what I want to do. The Black Templars, Inquisitors, and Sororitas. Now, with that group, can I still have the Star Striders in there? Because like the Star Striders, they're part of this like Ordo box. Are they part of the Inquisitors? I don't know. I just kind of wanted to field those guys on the table too because they're so weird looking. All right, I got to find the right chest piece for this guy. I know, yeah, it is a weird way to set a kill team for myself. Hey, but she's painting it, okay? My wife plays Old World, also nerd. No, I know. If you have the right mini codex, you can mix and match Imperial forces across multiple factions. Okay, cool. She does play elves though. No one's perfect. Okay, so what's wrong with elves in Old World? So, okay, here's a question I've been thinking about the Warhammer thing. So, a bunch of y'all have armies and you play. Sorry, I'm pointing to the chat. A bunch of y'all have armies and you play at the game store, and it sounds like some of you guys play this kind of like narrative game where you field this unit, but you use a different set of rules for that unit to make him part of a different army for like a narrative thing, which, you know, almost sounds a little bit Dungeons and Dragon like, you know. I mean, it's not, but it sounds a little bit like that. I'm assuming that no one's talking in voices, so it's more like narrative wargaming. But my question is, do you people who play Warhammer 40k also play the role-playing game, or have you ever tried it? Like, is the role-playing game adjacent to the war game somehow? You know what I mean? Like, is there a stepping, like, okay, let's say you're a war game player and you play, like, you know, you play war games and you play 40k. At some point, do you see that book on the shelf and you go like, what's that? Right? And then you're looking at it and you go, how does this work? And then like you play it. Is that like, is there a pipeline for that kind of play? I don't know. When you guys described that sort of narrative wargaming play style, that was really interesting to me because I didn't know people did that for like real war games. But I totally get it. I can understand that this type of lore would lend to that kind of war game play. Let's see. Matt says, in Battletech, I play Northwind Highlanders. Dudes are so unhinged. They paint their mechs in plaid tartan and blast bagpipe music through external speakers as they fight on the field. Interesting. Okay, so people really get into it, I guess, huh? They are filthy L guy. Okay, that's wrong with elves. I see. I do not know what army the Star Strider is from. Has to be Imperial. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, Nuya. I've never played any role-playing game or tabletop other than this game. I guess I played Baldur's. Okay. We have a really cool narrative game going at our local game store. It's absolutely awesome. That sounds cool. Huh. They're writing me in soon. A webway gate is going to open, and I'm going to come out with a space elves. It's going to be sick. Okay, well, hang on. Mike, you got to join my Discord. I want you to tell me more about this thing. I've not heard of this. Join the Discord so like, I don't know, like after the stream's over, what time is it now? 8:40? Okay, so I've been like an hour. I don't know where Bishop is. I'm going to keep going until I finish these guys, I guess. I'm totally distracted and not building great, but I haven't made any mistakes yet, so we're golden. But yeah, I'd be interested in hearing more about this. I have not heard of this style of play. I mean, I've heard of the Battletech version, right? I haven't heard of this for 40k though. It sounds really interesting, and anyways, I'd want to pick your brain about it some more, like, and then maybe you could also keep me up to date as it's going. So yeah, if you don't mind joining Discord, that'd be cool. Let's see. Star Striders are in the Imperial Codex. They can be. Oh, sorry. I already read that. All within just using 40 factions. It's awesome. And no, that's a good point, Mike. If you've never played a tabletop RPG, dude, you should definitely join our Discord. We have people playing now pretty regularly on Tuesdays, and you can easily get a group going with someone if you want to try a system. There's like a bunch of people who know how to play all the different games. I'm sure someone would love to get like a new enthusiast into like whatever their favorite RPG is. And I think there's some really cool ones if you like lore. I've been getting more into the lore RPGs because I don't know, they work for me. and helping me to get into the world and the setting. I think I found this guy's arm. I'm sorry, what's that? There we go, that goes overhead. I joined. I might not make it till the end of the stream, but I can fill you in. That sounds good, man. Yeah, no problem. Just be aware they have different rules often when you take them in the Imperial Agents Codex. Okay. Or if you ally them in. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Points are usually more expensive to ally into. Okay. I would also be down. I'd love to play D&D. I really like Baldur's Gate 3. I love playing as a paladin healer. So, did you get all the way through Baldur's Gate 3? And have you played other RPGs on video games? Like, have you played other, like, I don't know, Final Fantasy or other, you know, RPG type games? I would say, though, there is somewhat of a difference between video game RPGs and tabletop RPGs. Because there are some video games where you're playing just as like one character, but there are a lot of video games where you are playing like multiple characters at the same time and running them kind of like a little army. Even stuff like Dragon Age was an RPG where you made choices, but you had like a troop of people following you around all the time. Baldur's Gate can be like that. And I think that was the point why I was bringing it up. Baldur's Gate is definitely, like, if you like that game, you'll probably like a tabletop RPG. But I would still say, like, tabletop RPGs are a weird, different thing from Baldur's Gate. And what I mean is that they're probably even more interesting than you think they are. So yeah, I'm happy you're joining, man. We'll get a game going. I think I am putting that arm on the wrong spot. I am. Yep. It'd be so much easier if I had working instructions for this thing. All right, we are good with those big arms. I haven't fully, no. I haven't played a lot of RPGs. All the Bethesda ones, I do like those. I feel like a video game RPG and a tabletop are different. That's fair. Yes, Red Rocketeer, I'm still going. I've been getting way distracted. It's a good thing I wasn't trying to put together one of these big chonky guys. That might be my son. Is that you, Bishop? Nope, never mind. Thought I heard something downstairs. I do enjoy building on Discord. I think that's like probably one of my favorite places to just hang out and build miniatures, because I can just listen to other people chatting with each other, and then it's like I can just jump in every now and then. This is not optimal for building because I definitely want to like interact and stuff. Oh, Mike, wow, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong camera again. Okay, now I have to get you into a game as soon as possible. That's very sweet of you, man. There we go. Wrong way. I bet there's someone in my Discord who knows how to run 40K. Okay, would you be interested in trying to play in a 40K game? Because I kind of would like to, and we might be able to find someone who knows how to run it. Because I'd get a kick out of just trying to play like a three session arc. It's a game system I've heard a little bit about. I was even interested in like picking up the rule book for it myself. I didn't because I still have so many rule books to go through right now. I don't need any extra distractions. All right, missing 2 more arms for that guy. Question for you. What made you start this channel, and how long have you been going at this YouTube channel? What made me start this channel? That's a good question. Okay, so I appreciate the question. I wanted to help people play games with their kids, and that's like my goal, right? Is to, you know, because it's really hard to play games with your kids, like real games, you know, like tabletop RPGs and war games. And I noticed it was hard for me because my son's 14, And there's just times where I was struggling to be able to connect with him, you know, and here's so many video games he likes playing, and I don't like Roblox, and I don't like Minecraft. And I'd be like, hey, let's play Magic, let's play this, let's play, you know, and he's just like, no, I don't want to, I don't care, I'm not interested, right? Like, I mean, people tell you I've been fighting with him in our Discord channel at times, like trying to get him to just play Magic with me. I don't know what it is, but I it's not all kids, but I think a lot of kids who are growing up with like the phones and stuff, like they just don't really have attention spans to play real games. So I don't know. I guess, yeah, my hope was to help families be able to play with their kids. And that's why I started initially. This is initially a war game channel that turned into a tabletop RPG channel that is now a tabletop RPG and war game channel, which is not the smart idea. YouTube does not know what to do with you if you try and be both war game and tabletop RPG. And I don't know how it's going to go, but you had a second part of your question. Let's see. What made you start the channel? Oh, how long have I been going at this? So I started doing YouTube in 2020. No, a little earlier than that. I have another couple channels that I have on YouTube. I started making movie trailers. Like I'm a video editor normally, and I started making movie trailers on a couple other channels. Like if you look up Gone in 60 Seconds trailer, yeah, film trailer, Gone in 60 Seconds trailer, I think the number one that comes up is mine. And I made that as a gift for a friend of mine, for my brother-in-law, for his birthday, because he liked that movie and he wanted a trailer for it. So I was like, cool. I just like to edit, and if I had any reason to edit, I would. Anyways, I put a bunch of those up on YouTube back in like 2009 or something. I don't remember when. And that was like my first foray onto YouTube. And the thing was, that one trailer got me like 500,000 views or something, which was messed up because I could never recreate it, right? Like I don't know what it was. It was like the time I put it onto YouTube, probably, right? It was just like, it was one of the only Gone in 60-second trailers that existed at that time. Now there's like a dude who's actually copied my trailer and like reposted it, and it's got a bunch of views. I'm happy for him. That channel is basically filled with like me trying to figure out what I would want to do on YouTube. It's a lot of trash. I wouldn't recommend going through that channel, but I've also left it up there because it's somewhat of an anchor. I learned on that channel like a lot of things not to do, and I also learned to be comfortable being in front of a camera. So I guess I'd say I started in 2004. That's where I really tried to get active on YouTube, and it has taken me I suck. Like I am not good at this. I'm not trying to be like falsely humble or whatever. What I mean is, like, I'm not good at learning stuff, and there's a bunch of stuff that I have like set up technical around here that I've already forgotten how to use, right? I mean, like, I have a Stream Deck down here. Bought it, set it up with an old channel in 2021. Got it all set up and then just it didn't work out, right? It didn't work out. I wasn't good at streaming. I was trying to play video games and crap. I had no idea what I was doing. So yeah, at some point I realized it's really hard to play games with kids, and I knew that I was really trying to play with my son, and you know, he was just like, no, I don't care, you know, I don't want to. And he's not even like a particularly mean kid. So hey Chevron, how's it going? I'm a new father, so I found your channel really cool. I have a baby daughter of 8 months. That's awesome, man. Was it you who mentioned earlier that you no, because they said they had a 1-year-old. Was it you that said that your child was hitting the keyboard earlier? Someone was posting. Oh no, I think it might have been Nuya. Someone posted something a little earlier, and they were talking about how their daughter was hitting, or their child was hitting the keyboard. Apparently, there's a bunch of dads in here. I'm a long retired player, and your excitement reminds me why I miss it. Interesting. I just recently saw your video about getting 40K as someone who's new, and I thought it was great. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm totally new, but you know, like my goal is to now like learn how to play the game in such a way that I can actually, you know, get my kid to be interested in it too. Because I don't know, that's the dream, right? You find something that you and your kid love, and then you just get to do it with them. I don't know. It's been such a struggle trying to get that to happen. You know what makes it worse is like my dad really didn't do that with me. Sorry, wrong camera. My dad really didn't do that much with me when I was a kid, and I think that might be why I value it so much with my son. I really want to do that thing that I didn't get to do with my dad ever. You know, like we played some games on occasion. Like we played like Road Rash was a video game that he liked playing, and we played backgammon on and off throughout my life. That was like his favorite game, but not really much else. And we just didn't have anything to connect with. So I think that's why it's been so important to me to try and connect with my son Bishop through this. And then also hopefully, you know, he can connect with his brother Riker. That would be the dream. I played a few games on tabletop sim, know a bit of the lore, etc. too. Just started looking at Kill Team, and that's been super cool too. Have you picked up any models yet? Have you gotten like any models like and started painting and putting them together? And like I think Kill Team, like, so if you've already played like tabletop sim versions of the game, you probably are more advanced than me, but I think the Kill Team for me was like the entry into 40K. The very first thing I bought was like the Star Striders Kill Team because they look so cool. But then I was like, I would kind of like to learn how to play the game. It seems interesting. And I already knew that I didn't like the Marvel Crisis Protocol, like aiming measurement sticks. It felt dumb that Cyclops can only shoot 5, right? So a game where you could actually shoot across the entire map sounded way more interesting as far as a tactical shooter would go. Watching with my 6-year-old son, Bruce. We also got Leviathan and are slowly building the Tyranids army with him. He likes playing 40K. We started with Combat Patrol and have done 1 or 2 2K games. Okay, 1 to 1,000 1 to 2,000 games. Okay, that's cool, man. Does your 6-year-old son, does he build his own pieces? Does he put his own guys together? Because okay, I don't know if you were, so earlier in the stream I mentioned I'm building these Tyranids and they're not even for me. I don't think Rodney was in the chat when I mentioned it earlier, but now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get shamed. I agreed to put his Tyranids together because he's gonna paint them, and I just want to play with him. So yes, it means I'm being a little bit desperate. I did ask earlier if building your own army is a buy-in for the game, and I'm not sure what my own thought is on it. I actually made a video about that today because like I would kind of like to know what people think about that. Like, is the threshold to war games building and painting your own army? To be honest, I kind of think it is. Like I think you being willing to build and paint an army is the entry point to the hobby, which is probably why it's not like a super, you know, profitable hobby space. All right, I think that guy jumping on that section is cool. See, here's the thing, like normally if I was putting these jumpy guys on here, I'd probably base down first and then I'd get that guy jumping off like a rock or something. But since these are my sons, I'm going to give him lame bases, but I'm doing this on purpose. I want him to learn that if he wants his models based, he has to do it himself. There. So now Rodney can't make fun of me anymore. That's cope. I know, shame. See, 1 or 2 games of 1,000. Hold on, I want to see your response. Okay, watch on my 6-year-old. If you ever want to play Kill Team Tabletop Simulator, has a great way to play it. Really? Yes, Mike, I would love to play with you. I would like to get more familiar with the rules. I have a Mandrake army that I really enjoy. I've gotten 1 round of a game in with them, and my son gave up because he didn't understand they could teleport. And I was trying to explain to him how the teleport rules work. And when I teleported behind his line and flanked him entirely, he was like, this game's dumb. And I think that was one of our first games, and threw a little fit about it. Hold on, let's see. Tactical shooter. I'm working on a tabletop game like that. That's interesting. So I've seen a couple different like war game adjacent games that emulate like MOBAs. I don't know if you know like the what's it called? League of Legends and Dota. So I never really played League of Legends or Dota, but I know it. Dota. I'm saying the wrong word, not Dota. That's the one where you're buying the units. No, the other laner game. Anyways, there's a bunch of them, and I've seen there's actually some games that simulate that type of gameplay. Corvus Belli has one of them, and then there was another game called like Last Judgment, and it seems like the desire is to actually emulate video game gameplay loops in a board game or tabletop game. So when you mentioned you're making like a tactical shooter, or you're thinking about working on something like that, that's cool. I think some of these companies making well, not Fantasy Flight Games, because I don't think they're making anything original, but I think some of these companies should lean into making looter shooter type games or hack and slash, you know, like a Diablo type of game. All right, I finished 2 models, and you know what? I don't even think I screwed it up at all, and not bad. All right, I did that while wildly distracted, yammering about nothing. Okay, let's see. Tyranid kick my ass. Okay, I put together, but he paints. That's what I was looking for. That's cool, man. Do you have? Okay, so if you wouldn't mind like joining our Discord, we have like a little tabletop war game section, I'd be interested in seeing some of the pictures that the pictures of the models your 6-year-old painted. I think that's really cool that y'all are doing that together. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I get real proud of the stuff that Bishop paints. You know, he got good real fast. Like, he got really quick. He sort of taught himself how to do it. He was watching like just painting channels and stuff. I was surprised how fast he went from like painting kind of scuff looking models to where he was like, I was like, oh, he's painting better than I am. It was a couple weeks. It was really quick. Oh, I meant new, oh yeah, hey, sorry about that. He'd had a lot of Bioware, Lictor, Gene Stealers, Tyranid. Guy. First was awesome. 100% the game is hard to play. Building or painting gets you skin in the game and makes it worth it to stick through learning how to play a 4-hour game. Right. Also, lore buys you into playing. I think that's okay. So you're right, and that's also like the dangerous part, because you make a few purchases in one of these games, and real quickly that sunk cost fallacy can kick in. That happened with me with Marvel Crisis Protocol, because I realized pretty early on that I didn't really care for the game loop of Marvel Crisis Protocol, but it was good enough, right? And I didn't really know any other war games, but I also knew that I was kind of bored with some of the tactics and mechanics of playing Marvel Crisis Protocol. It just wasn't that interesting of a game. So I have far too many models that I still need to build and paint. I'm kind of actually thinking about taking them to the game store, because they have a little like a commission case where you can bring your painted and unpainted models and sell them, and people will buy your armies from you. And they just basically, I think they take like 5% or something. I don't know. They take some sort of a storing fee. So yeah, my thought is maybe I'll take some of the Marvel Crisis stuff over there. I don't know. I haven't run out of room yet, but I will soon. I think it's a good thing to learn and have experience with, but I personally don't think you need to have built all your models. I have plenty of Iodari stuff that was gifted to me. I'm also fine with that. I mean, like, that's fine. But you do, I assume you do paint and build a bunch of your stuff. Same with the Imperial Legion. I bought the Krieg box, and I have like 1,500 points worth of that stuff gifted to me. Is the Krieg stuff the death cult people, the Death Corps? That's the only one I know by the name of the Krieg people. I have their kill team, if that's the same one. All right, it is 9. He's not home yet, but I'm gonna wrap it there, and I'm probably gonna jump into Discord. So if any of y'all are interested in like actually chatting more, you're welcome to jump in the Discord, and I'll probably be down in the general. Thursdays might be this for a while, like me just trying to build and paint guys. So we'll see. I might otherwise have other stuff to actually talk about if, like, I don't know, news happens or something. We'll see. So, all right. God bless you. Have a good night. Okay, yeah, it's the deathcore people. Like you meant nasty list play. Okay. Good night, Joshua. You guys have a good night. God bless you. And if you want to jump over in Discord, we'll see you there.